that's only theory, you know, because you can be against tuition fees, but to vote 156 day of strike today, I think, well, it's not enough arguments, it's not enough theories, not enough. You have to transform this into practice. And the first key of our success, I think, is our structures. The way our movement is structured on a local and on a national level. So that's maybe the second part of my presentation. Contrary to, is said a lot in a lot of groups, in a lot of, and also in left-wing groups, the Quebec movement, student movement, is very, very strictly structured, but is also very democratic. And that's the first point I want to make. There is absolutely no opposition between democracy and structure. It's not because you have good student associations, well-financed and powerful, that they are going to be anti-democratic. And that's what we have succeeded in doing in Quebec. We have student associations who represent everyone on the campus, who are recognized by law and by the state, who have a lot of money, but that are very democratic and are able to mobilize people. And to explain how this big structure works, I will make a very simple example. I think there are students from Quebec here, so probably you will find what I say very basic. Ça va être très même stupide, mais je pense que c'est important de vraiment expliquer comment ça se passe d'un point de vue très local. Ça va pas être inspirant, mais je pense que c'est le plus important. Alors prenons le cas d'un étudiant qui a une idée. Puis prenons un exemple fictif, un étudiant qui veut que les différentes organisations étudiantes organisent une manifestation conjointe un jour. En même temps, cette personne-là est membre d'une organisation étudiante nationale, il veut que cette manifestation-là soit organisée conjointement. So the first thing you do is you go to your General Assembly. A General Assembly, General Assemblies normally in Quebec are held a few times each semester, and that's very important. They are the supreme decision-making body of any student association in Quebec, and it is the moment where every decision is made. In fact, it's the only place where a decision can be made, and it's very frustrating for the media, trust me, but it's like that we are able to mobilize students. So you go to your assembly. You propose your idea to the assembly. You say, I propose that we organize a protest on that day. The students will vote on your proposition. They will adopt it or reject it. If they adopt it, the executive council of your local student association will be forced, in fact, to apply this decision. They will be forced to execute it locally and nationally. So that brings us to the national level, which is the National Congress of our student coalition, the CLASSE. Each student association, which is a member of our coalition, sends a delegation to the Congress, 2 or 3%. Those delegates are not there, and that's also very important, to defend their personal positions. They are there strictly to apply and defend the mandates given to them by the members of the association in general assemblies. So they, for example, to follow our example, they would be forced to put on the table the proposition to make a common protest. And if the communication channels between the local associations are used correctly, in theory, the other student associations are supposed to have seen this proposition before, and they are supposed to have the time to consult their own members on the proposition adopted on the other, in the other association. Alors à ce moment-là, il y a un débat. Les associations étudiantes proposent leur mandat. Il y a celles qui sont en accord, celles qui sont en désaccord, et puis il y a le vote. Et à ce moment-là, si la proposition est adoptée, cette proposition-là, à partir de ce moment-là, bon, est entre les mains du Conseil exécutif national, the National Executive Council. The role of the National Executive Council is the same as the local Executive Council. It is strictly to apply the mandate given in the Congress. So, in our example, it means organize the protest, publicize it in the media, etc. And then the proposition, which was the idea of one student, becomes a protest of 200,000 persons. And the important point about what I just said is that all our decisions are taken like that. And during the strike, to give you an idea, there was at least one General Assembly per week in each striking association, and there was one Congress per week. It's not always fun, but it's very democratic. C'est une structure qui peut avoir l'air... C'est une structure qui peut avoir l'air lourde, et d'ailleurs on se le fait beaucoup reprocher au Québec dans les médias, parce que c'est long. C'est long, évidemment. Mais à la fois, ce qu'il faut comprendre, c'est que la capacité de mobilisation du mouvement étudiant est directement liée à ce fonctionnement démocratique-là. Parce que c'est parce que les gens se sentent impliqués dans le processus décisionnel qu'ils sont prêts à se mobiliser. Si les gens se sentaient comme une pièce d'échec sur un jeu d'échecs, ils ne descendraient pas dans la rue autant. Ils descendent dans la rue parce qu'ils sentent que c'est aussi un peu leur mouvement et que la décision, même la plus fine des décisions stratégiques, ils y ont contribué. Et c'est pour ça qu'on est capable de mobiliser. Ça, c'est donc, voilà. Ça, c'est un peu la mécanique. Les gens ne se sentent pas comme un soldat dans une armée. Ils sentent qu'ils font partie de l'élaboration du plan d'action. Ça, c'est un peu la mécanique. That's the mechanic.